Welcome back to my YouTube channel, In Her Reading Era. Today I'm going to talk about the 18 books I read in the month of June. And yes, that is a crazy amount, but I had surgery, so I had a lot of time on my hands. So the first book I read in the month of June was Binding 13. This book was so good. It's a high school romance. Johnny and Shannon are the main characters in the first two books, and it is such an emotional roller coaster. These people have gone through life. It shows the harder parts of life, and the writing is so good. There's lots of dialogue. I don't normally like high school romances, but I liked this book and this series. So, Binding 13 was a great read. I followed it up with Keeping 13, which was the second book and not the final book in the series, but the final book of Johnny and Shannon's relationship, and it was so good. I think that book is the favorite I've read in the series so far. Absolutely loved it. Again, tough read, but a good read, and I haven't heard any bad reviews on the series. So the next book I read in June was Unbreak Me by Reese Rivers. This was a reread for me. This is a why choose where there's one female, and in this case there are three main male characters. The main female character is a single mom. She's escaping an abusive husband, and she has her kid with her. And these three guys end up taking her in as kind of like a housekeeper, and then they end up falling for each other. It's such a good feel good book. I love a good wide choose, and I don't hear about this book a lot, so I would definitely recommend Unbreak Me by Reese Rivers. The next book I read in the month of June was Saving Six, which was a continuation of the Binding 13 series. This time it shows Joey's and Aoife's story. So by Saving Six and Redeeming Six are both about Joey's story. And again, this is a really good series. This was a tough read. There's some tough subjects in it, but the Chloe Walsh does an amazing job of writing. So I definitely, again, the Binding 13 series, great series to read. The next book I read is Never Seduce a Scot by Maya Banks. This is a historical romance fiction. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's about Evelyn and Graham. Evelyn is a lady who everybody believes she what they call her touched, because she fell off a horse, and she has pretended to have basically a brain injury where she doesn't really know what's going on, when in truth she's only deaf. However, she played this charade that she wasn't in full control of her brain because she was engaged to a man that she was very scared of. When the book starts, the king has actually decided to betroth Evelyn, regardless of this presumed brain injury, to a man of a rival clan. So it's kind of rival clans and Evelyn kind of like coming out of her shell and showing that she isn't deaf, or she is deaf, but she's not any other issues. So yeah, that's a really rough explanation, but it's a good book. Historical fiction, Maya Banks is always a solid read. The next books I read were Broke Down and Knocked Out by Sharon Dare. One's a sequel of the other. This is a why choose romance. I believe it was four guys, one girl. She's a single mom. Her vehicle breaks down on the side of the road. She gets picked up by the local sheriff. He brings her to a hotel. He actually is planned on sharing a female with his one of his brothers and then two of his friends for a long time, and they feel like she matches the fit, so it's kind of them fitting together, and then the single mom kind of having these guys take care of her. It was okay. It wasn't amazing. I think I rated it 3 stars. But if you're looking for like a nice, easy, fun read, that's why I choose. I wouldn't mind recommending that one. So the next book I read this month was Set on You by Amy Lee. Amy Lee was my Canadian author of the month. I try to read one new Canadian author every month, and she did not disappoint. This was such a fun, quirky rom-com. I loved it. It was about a plus size female influencer meeting a firefighter at the gym, and they kind of have tension. They don't get along, and then they slowly, obviously, eventually get along. But it's such a fun, quirky read. Amy Lee followed this up with X's and O's. It's the second in the series. It's a standalone, but the characters are seen in the first book, Set on You. So X's and O's was also a fun, quirky read. I definitely think I liked Set on You more, but X's and O's kept Amy Lee's fun writing. Definitely recommend reading those two books. The next book I read in the month of June was Accidentally Amy by Lynn Painter. I've read Lynn Painter before and loved her books. I didn't like this one as much as her other books, but it was okay. I think it was just like okay. I think I rated it about 3 stars for me. It was fun, quirky. A girl runs into a guy at a coffee shop. She had lied about her name to get the order quick, and he thinks she's someone else, and then he ends up being her boss. So it's fun, quirky. Give it a try if you're looking for some rom com. But I would probably rate it about 3 stars. The next book I read in June was God Complex by Darcy Dahlia, and I cannot say enough good things about this book. This is a dark romance, so if you want to read it, check your trigger warnings, but it was so good. The main female character is a writer, and one of her books that she wrote is being put into a movie. Her inspiration or muse for a lot of her writing books were two guys who were actors, and they actually get hired on to do the movie for this movie. They both are actually serial killers, and they both have an obsession with her once they find out about her. So they both want her. It's a why choose. It's dark romance. It is so good. And I followed that up with Holy Sinner, which is the second in the series, and again, so good. Darcy Dahlia did such a great job with these. I highly recommend if you like dark romance. The next book I read was this month of June was Legal Intentions by Anastasia Wright. It was okay. It was about a girl who leaves her boyfriend. He is in the police force, but he is not a good guy. She ends up falling for another guy who's in the police force and eventually his buddy. So it's a why choose. It's fun. It's got suspense. It's romantic suspense. Yeah, it's fun. I think I rated them about 3.5 stars. I really liked the spicy scenes in this. I didn't love the plot as much, but it was okay read for sure. The next book I read was Spare by Prince Harry, and I actually listened to this. It took me about 45 days to listen to, which is crazy. I found it really boring. I rated it 2 stars. There was so much about his life that like wouldn't care about. I've never read a autobiography where they talked about such mundane details of their life, but this one did. So if you're looking for a long read about things that are boring to a lot of people, this might be your guy, but for me it was not. So, yeah. The next book I read this month was Starstruck by Ivy Dawes. Ivy Dawes is Canadian, so we love a Canadian author. And this book is about Kat and James. Kat is an aspiring actress and she hasn't had much luck. So she ends up getting hired onto a movie set as a PA. She runs into one of the main actors on set, and his name is James, but she doesn't know he's the main actor. He's wearing a prosthetic. She can't tell who it is. And they start having this relationship without her even knowing who he is. Eventually she does find out who he is. So they have this kind of relationship going. But then there's also James, who's being pressured by his family, who is in the movie business, to have a fake relationship with the main leading lady in this movie. So like there's two forces kind of going on. But it was a fun rom-com read and I highly enjoyed it. My final read of the month was The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. Um, I am the common, I am not the common denominator. I am the odd denominator out. I didn't enjoy this book. I couldn't get into it. I don't know what else to say. I just didn't enjoy it. It wasn't for me, and I think it's for most people because I've only seen good reviews. But for me, it was 2 stars. But anyway, these were all my June reads. Thanks for following along, and I'll keep you updated. Bye. Thanks, guys.